You don't have a motivation problem. You don't have a consistency problem. You don't have a mindset problem. You have a missing structure problem. And today I'm going to show you exactly what that means and what the correct building sequence actually looks like. By the end of this video, you'll understand why most beginners stall online, what the right order to build actually is, and the framework I use to take someone from overwhelmed and scattered to structured, building, and generating income. Stay with me because this changes how you see everything. The online business space is full of advice. The problem is not the volume of it. The problem is that almost none of it teaches sequence. It teaches you what to do, almost never in what order to do it. The result is what I call the tactic trap. You learn to post, you learn to sell, you learn to create content, but nothing compounds because you have no foundation under any of it. Think of it this way. You would never build a house by starting with the roof. The structure has to come first. The foundation has to be right before anything above it has a chance of standing. Yet, that is exactly what most beginner business content asks you to do. Start with the visible things, the content, the offers, the selling, before the invisible foundation is in place. The sequence matters more than the tactics, and that is the entire premise of what I teach. If you're a parent trying to build income alongside a family, the pressure compounds. You don't have unlimited hours. You cannot afford to spend 6 months on something that leads nowhere. And you do not want to sacrifice presence at home to build income, because that defeats the entire purpose. The conventional model says work harder, earn more, be more available later on. I built profitable presence company on the belief that that is a false choice. I left a 20-year corporate career in marketing and brand strategy, not because I failed, but because I wanted to build something around my children and my family, around my life in a small town where corporate was simply not an option. And what I found was that the online business world was handing talent, capable people, tactics without a system, ideas without sequence, motivation without structure. So I took everything I knew from corporate, brand positioning, systems thinking, structured communication, and I built a method. With the right structure and 1 to 2 focused hours per day, it is possible to build a scalable digital income stream that works around your life, not instead of it. But the key word always remains structure. I want to show you the map. Not every room inside it, but the map. Because people do not buy when they feel overwhelmed. They buy when they finally see a clear path exists. The present method is an 8-step framework. Each letter represents one layer of the business system. Each layer supports the next, and it always begins with clarity, not content. P for positioning. Who you serve, what you solve, and how you stand apart. Without this, every tactic you apply is aimed at no one. Revenue. Choosing the right business model for your skills, your time, and your goals. Not every model works for every person. This step removes years of wrong turns. Execution. Building your infrastructure before you try to attract an audience. Most people skip this and wonder why their content doesn't convert. Systems, creating repeatable processing that generates income without requiring your constant presence. This is how presence becomes profit. Expansion, growing your audience and offer ecosystem with intention, not volume. Strategic growth compounds. Random growth just exhausts. Nurture your audience. Building relationships that converts through trust, not pressure. Your audience buys from who they trust. Trust is built through consistent, structured value. Cash flow optimization, creating multiple income touchpoints from one core system. This is where your upsell ecosystem lives and where income diversifies without adding complexity. Enduring wealth, structuring everything for long term sustainability, not short term wins. This is the difference between a launch and a business. You do not need to understand every step in depth right now. What you need to understand is that these steps exist, that they work in sequence, and that skipping any one of them is why most people stay stuck. Inside the presence method, students also have access to 4 implementation resources designed specifically to accelerate process and remove the uncertainty that slows most beginners down. The Offer Clarity Accelerator for getting completely clear on what to sell and how to package it so it converts. The Presence Funnel Build Kit for building your conversion system without the tech overwhelm that stops most people before they even start. The Presence Quick Start Companion for students who want structured guidance to move faster and with more confidence. And the system setup shortcuts for setting up your business infrastructure correctly the first time so you're not rebuilding in 6 months from now. These are not extras, they are implementation assets. They exist because clarity alone is not enough. You also need the tools to execute on it. If what I have shared today has given you a new way of looking at what you are building, I want to give you something to take with you. The Presence Method Foundational Blueprint is a free resource I created to give you a structured starting point that most people spend months searching for. It covers the first steps of this framework, what to build, in what order, and why each step really matters. The link is in the description below and pinned in the comments. Download it, read it, and if you have questions, leave them below. I read every comment. If this video helped you, subscribe. I release one structured, strategic video every Thursday. No noise, no hype, just the building blocks that actually matter. I'll see you next week. God bless.